Thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here today and speak about a subject that touches every single one of us. Staying motivated when nothing seems to go right. Let's face it, life doesn't always unfold the way we imagine. There are days when no matter how hard we try, things seem to fall apart. Maybe it's a missed opportunity, a failed relationship, or a dream that feels just out of reach. But let me remind you of this. It's not the setback that defines you. It's how you rise after the fall. First, let's acknowledge the struggle. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel disappointed. Those emotions don't make you weak. They make you human. But here's the secret. Don't let that frustration become your stopping point. Let it fuel your determination. Second, reframe the challenge. You see, every failure, every obstacle is a lesson in disguise. Think of it as life's way of teaching you what you're capable of. Those moments when nothing goes right, that's when you grow the most. Remember, a diamond is just a piece of coal that handled pressure exceptionally well. Third, tap into your inner strength. Each of you has a wellspring of courage and resilience within you. When you feel lost or defeated, pause for a moment. Reflect on your past victories, no matter how small. You've overcome challenges before, and you can do it again. Believe that you are more powerful than any obstacle in your path. Finally, take actionable steps to keep moving forward. Start with gratitude. Focus on the things you do have rather than what you lack. Break your goals into smaller, manageable steps, and celebrate every little win along the way. Surround yourself with positivity, be it through books, podcasts, or uplifting conversations. And most importantly, never hesitate to ask for help. There's strength in seeking support. Remember this, storms don't last forever, and neither do tough times. When the world feels like it's crumbling around you, plant your feet firmly on the ground, lift your head high, and say to yourself, "This is not where my story ends." Because you, my friends, are the authors of your lives, and you hold the pen. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. I want to begin by addressing something we often overlook but feel deeply in our hearts: acknowledging the struggle. When life gets hard, when every door seems to slam shut, and when the weight of it all feels unbearable, it's natural to feel defeated, and yet so many of us are conditioned to mask those feelings, to push through without ever pausing to admit to ourselves, "This is hard. I'm struggling." But let me tell you, there is strength in honesty. There is power in recognizing where you are, even if it's a difficult place. You see, life is not a straight road. A winding journey full of highs and lows, smooth patches and rocky terrain. And when we hit those tough moments, when things don't go right, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we're alone. But let me remind you, what separates people who thrive from those who falter is not the absence of struggle, but their ability to confront it head on. Acknowledging the struggle starts with allowing yourself to feel. We live in a world that often equates struggle with failure. We're taught to suppress our emotions, to plaster on a smile even when we're breaking inside. But I urge you to see things differently. Feeling overwhelmed, disappointed, or even lost does not mean you're weak. It means you care. It means you're alive. It means you're invested in your journey. So give yourself permission to feel. Sit with those emotions. They are not your enemy. They're your compass, pointing you toward what matters most. But let me be clear, acknowledging the struggle does not mean wallowing in it. It's not about getting stuck in a cycle of self-pity. Rather, it's about creating a space for reflection, a moment to pause and truly understand where you are and why you feel the way you do. When you take that time to look inward, you're no longer running from your problems. You're facing them, and in doing so, you're taking the first step toward overcoming them. Think about it. How often do we brush off our feelings with phrases like, "It's fine," or "I'll deal with it later"? And yet, those unaddressed emotions have a way of resurfacing, often at the worst possible times. By acknowledging your struggle as it happens, you take back control. You give yourself the opportunity to process and move forward rather than being held hostage by unresolved pain. Hoi no Torah Aida. Now, I know this is easier said than done. Admitting you're struggling can feel like admitting defeat. But let me assure you, it's the exact opposite. It takes incredible courage to say, "I'm not okay right now." That vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it's a testament to your strength. When you name your struggle, you rob it of its power. You take what feels overwhelming and make it tangible, something you can work with, rather than something that works against you. And here's another thing to remember. Acknowledging your struggle also opens the door for connection. When you're honest about where you are, you give others permission to be honest too. Struggle thrives in silence, but when you speak your truth, you often find that others are walking a similar path. That shared understanding can be a lifeline. It reminds you that you're not alone, and that together we can carry burdens that feel impossible to bear alone. The journey through life is not about avoiding struggle, it's about navigating it with grace and resilience. The first step is simple yet profound. Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "Yes, this is hard. Yes, I'm struggling right now, and yes, I will get through this," because you will. The act of recognizing your challenge is the first crack in the wall of doubt, the first glimmer of light breaking through the darkness. Don't rush it. From there you can build. From there you can rise. So the next time you feel like nothing is going right, don't deny your feelings, don't push them down. Take a deep breath, name your struggle, and remind yourself that this moment, no matter how hard, is just that, a moment. It does not define you, it does not determine your worth. It is a chapter, not the whole story. And you, my friends, hold the pen to write what comes next. When life feels like a series of disappointments, it's natural to dwell on what's going wrong. The instinct to focus on failure and frustration is strong. But what if I told you that these moments, as painful as they may seem, are opportunities in disguise? When nothing seems to go right, that is precisely the moment to shift your perspective. You see, life is not defined by what happens to us, but by how we interpret and respond to it. So that every challenge, every roadblock, carries within it the potential for growth, and it's up to us to uncover it. The truth is, setbacks are inevitable. None of us are immune to life's difficulties. However, instead of viewing them as insurmountable obstacles, we can choose to see them as stepping stones. This shift in perspective doesn't erase the pain or frustration of failure, but it transforms how we experience it. The key lies in reframing our challenges. Rather than saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" It's a small change in language, but a profound shift in mindset. Think about the greatest breakthroughs in history. Scientific discoveries, artistic masterpieces, personal achievements. Many of these moments were born out of failure, frustration, and struggle. The difference between those who rise and those who fall lies in the ability to see failure not as the end, but as the beginning of something new. Challenges force us to think differently, to adapt, and to grow. They test our limits and push us to uncover strengths we didn't know we had. When you shift your perspective in this way, failure becomes less intimidating and more empowering. Consider this. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply feedback. It's life's way of saying, "Not this way, try again." This realization is freeing because it reminds us that setbacks are not permanent. They are not final. They are moments of redirection, guiding us towards something better suited for us, or teaching us valuable lessons we can carry forward. Every great success story is built on a foundation of failures that were reframed as opportunities. Reframing challenges also allows us to step back and view the bigger picture. Often, when we're in the thick of a difficult situation, it feels all-consuming. It's hard to see beyond the immediate frustration or disappointment. But take a moment to zoom out. Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? 5 years from now? This exercise often reveals that what feels overwhelming in the present is only a small piece of a much larger journey. It reminds us that struggles are temporary, while the growth we gain from them can last a lifetime. Another powerful way to reframe challenges is to focus on gratitude. Even in the midst of difficulty, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, but it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It's a way of reminding ourselves that even when nothing seems to go right, not everything is going wrong. Gratitude grounds us and gives us the strength to face challenges with a clearer perspective. It's also important to recognize that reframing challenges doesn't mean pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's not about ignoring pain or minimizing difficulty. Instead, it's about choosing to see those struggles through a different lens. It's about acknowledging the difficulty while also believing in your ability to overcome it. This mindset is not about denying reality, it's about shaping it. So, when you're faced with a challenge, remind yourself that this is not the end of the story. Instead of being consumed by frustration or despair, ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? How can I use this experience to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient? By shifting your perspective in this way, you transform challenges from barriers into building blocks. You reclaim your power and remind yourself that even in the toughest moments, you are capable of rising above. Life will continue to throw challenges your way, but it's how you choose to see them that makes all the difference. Each setback is a chance to learn, to grow, and to move closer to the person you are meant to become. With this mindset, no challenge is wasted, and no failure is final. Instead, every difficulty becomes an opportunity to step into your greatest potential. And that, my friends, is how you turn life's struggles into life's triumphs. When nothing seems to go right, it's easy to feel as though your strength has been drained, leaving you vulnerable and lost. But let me remind you that even in your lowest moments, there is a well of inner strength within you, waiting to be tapped into. This strength isn't something you have to search for externally. It's already a part of who you are. It's the quiet voice that urges you to try again, the resilience that has carried you through challenges in the past, and the determination that refuses to let you give up. The question isn't whether you have this strength, it's whether you believe in it and know how to harness it. One of the first steps in tapping into your inner strength is reflection. Take a moment to think back on the times in your life when you overcame difficulties that once seemed insurmountable. Maybe it was a personal loss, a career setback, or a challenge that tested your patience and resolve. At the time, you might have thought you couldn't make it through, but those moments are proof of your strength, and they serve as powerful reminders that you are capable of facing whatever comes your way. Your inner strength is also deeply tied to self-belief. The way you speak to yourself during difficult times matters more than you might realize. Negative self-talk can diminish your resolve, making challenges feel even more overwhelming. On the other hand, affirming your ability to overcome adversity can shift your mindset entirely. When you tell yourself, "I've got this," or "I am strong enough to handle this," you're not just offering words of encouragement, you're reinforcing a belief system that empowers you to take action. Remember, the mind is incredibly powerful, and what you tell yourself often becomes your reality. Another way to access your inner strength is by focusing on your values and purpose. Ask yourself, why am I fighting for this? What truly matters to me? When you reconnect with your deeper purpose, you gain clarity and motivation. For instance, if you're facing a tough moment at work, think about how overcoming this challenge aligns with your goals and aspirations. If you're struggling in a personal relationship, remind yourself of the love and connection you want to foster. Purpose gives meaning to the struggle, and meaning gives you the energy to persevere. Building inner strength also requires patience. It's tempting to want immediate solutions to problems, but true resilience comes from enduring the process. Strength isn't just about powering through. It's about pacing yourself and recognizing that progress often comes in small, steady steps. Give yourself grace as you navigate challenges, and understand that setbacks are not failures. They're part of the journey. Every stumble is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and grow stronger. In times of difficulty, surrounding yourself with positivity is another crucial aspect of tapping into your strength. While inner strength comes from within, the energy you absorb from those around you can either support or drain that strength. Seek out people, environments, and experiences that uplift you, whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or even a good book. These sources of positivity can help reignite your belief in yourself. Remember, leaning on others is not a sign of weakness. It's a strategy for growth. Strength is often fortified by connection. Gratitude also plays a key role in accessing inner strength. It might seem counterintuitive to focus on gratitude during challenging times, but acknowledging what you're thankful for shifts your perspective. It reminds you of the resources, people, and abilities you already have to overcome difficulties. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment and reinforces the mindset that you're not starting from zero. You're starting from a place of abundance. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of persistence. Inner strength doesn't mean never feeling tired or discouraged. It means continuing to move forward, even when the path is unclear. It's the decision to keep trying, to get back up after every fall, and to trust that every step you take brings you closer to a breakthrough. The journey won't always be easy, but each step builds resilience. Over time, you'll come to realize that the strength you've cultivated is far greater than the challenges you've faced. When life feels like it's falling apart, remind yourself that your inner strength is not something you need to build from scratch. It's already within you, shaped by your experiences, values, and the sheer fact that you've made it this far. Trust in that strength, lean into it, and let it guide you forward. Because even in the darkest moments, you have everything you need to rise again. When nothing seems to go right, it can feel as if you're trapped in a cycle of defeat, where every effort falls short and every path leads to a dead end. In these moments, staying motivated might seem impossible, but it's not. Motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you cultivate. And the best way to do that is by taking actionable steps that ground you, inspire you, and keep you moving forward, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. The power of small, intentional actions can turn even the most difficult days into opportunities for growth and progress. One of the most effective ways to stay motivated is by starting with gratitude. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to focus solely on what's going wrong. But gratitude shifts your perspective. It allows you to see what's still going right, even in the midst of hardship. Begin or end each day by listing a few things you're thankful for, no matter how small they may seem. Maybe it's the support of a friend, a moment of peace, or even the fact that you've made it through another day. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your challenges. It's about reminding yourself that not everything is falling apart. It creates a foundation of positivity that fuels your ability to keep going. Another powerful step is to break your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's hard to think about the big picture without feeling overwhelmed. Instead of focusing on everything you need to achieve, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move forward? It might be sending an email, making a phone call, or simply organizing your thoughts. These small wins add up, and each one builds momentum. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. And with every step you take, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of moving forward, even in difficult times. Surrounding yourself with positivity is another essential step. Difficult times often amplify negativity, both from within and around you. That's why it's so important to intentionally seek out sources of inspiration. This could mean listening to a podcast, watching a motivational video, or reading a book that uplifts you. It might involve spending time with people who encourage and support you. The energy you expose yourself to has a profound impact on your mindset. When you're surrounded by positivity, it becomes easier to believe in possibilities and to find the strength to keep going. At the same time, remember the importance of celebrating your progress. Too often, we only recognize success when we've reached a major milestone, but the truth is every step along the way deserves acknowledgement. Did you get out of bed when you didn't feel like it? Did you complete a task that felt daunting? Did you take a moment to care for yourself? These are victories, and they matter. Celebrating your efforts, no matter how small, reinforces the idea that you're capable and resilient. It shifts your focus from what's not working to what you're achieving, even in the face of difficulty. Seeking help is another vital part of staying motivated. We often think that asking for support is a sign of weakness, but it's actually a sign of strength. Reaching out to a friend, mentor, or counselor doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're resourceful enough to recognize when you need a helping hand. Sometimes just sharing your struggles with someone who listens can lighten the load and provide fresh perspectives you hadn't considered. Strength doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means knowing when to lean on others. Setting boundaries is another critical step in staying motivated. When you're overwhelmed, it's easy to feel pulled in multiple directions, trying to meet everyone's expectations while neglecting your own needs. Take a step back and ask yourself, what truly matters right now? Focus your energy on what aligns with your goals and values, and don't be afraid to say no to distractions or demands that drain your energy. Protecting your time and mental space allows you to focus on what's most important and keeps your motivation intact. Finally, never underestimate the power of perspective. Remind yourself that tough times are temporary. Challenges, no matter how daunting, are not permanent states. They are moments that will pass. Keep in mind that even when progress feels slow, you are still moving forward. Motivation doesn't always mean feeling inspired or energetic. Sometimes it's simply the quiet determination to keep putting one foot in front of the other. When nothing goes right, staying motivated is about finding light in the small things, creating progress where you can, and holding on to the belief that better days are ahead. These steps may not erase the difficulty of the moment, but they give you the tools to navigate it with strength and grace. Each action you take, no matter how small, is a reminder that you have the power to move forward, even when the path seems unclear. And with each step you are writing a story of resilience, perseverance, and hope, a story that proves once again that you are capable of overcoming anything.